This boy was killed by his father. Yes, his father strangled him with a rope in the neck and almost killed him. He left him helpless, thinking that he's dead. But against all odds, this boy came back to life, survived, and he has vowed to never forgive his father. How did this boy manage to survive the attempted murder? How did his mother react to the betrayal, and what actions did she take? Normally, the love of children and parents is unbreakable. But why would a father hate his son so much that he would resort to killing him? We visit this family in Uganda and they tell us more about this tragic tale. My name is Nabasita Jen. I worked here in Kampala before I married the father to this child. He took me to Kyotera. By then, I was pregnant. He was a lorry driver that transported charcoal, and one day he had a fatal accident and died instantly, leaving me pregnant. After losing the husband, she lost hope and had nowhere to go. But one woman hired her as a maid and helped her to get shelter until she gave birth. When the baby had a year and a half, I met another man whom we fell in love. We got married and spent 8 years living together, but he strangled my child's neck. And here's how we met. He found me where I worked as a maid. He had come to dig the toilet pit. He worked for a few days and I found myself loving him. He proposed me and we lived a happily life together, but I never knew that he had other wicked plans. Later, he would attempt killing my son. They had lived for 8 years and had 2 children during that period. They then had some misunderstandings on different topics at home, mainly because the husband started misbehaving and not providing for the family, and then decided to part ways, where the woman went back at her home village. After a long period of time, I looked for what to do and started a small business. The husband had taken his 2 children and I remained with the one he found me with. So one day, he met with my child and deceived him, took him away and nearly killed him. I never thought that he killed my child. I only thought he was hiding him so that I would come looking for the child and maybe get back together with him. That's what came to my mind. But the worst of all almost happened. She couldn't believe why he would do this to her, but adds that when they lived together, he had treated the kid in a cruel way, which was a sign, but she didn't pay attention, and it wasn't to the extent why you would think he can even take away someone's life, until when it was too late. He strangled my baby's neck 2 years after we had separated. We lived in the same neighborhood, but each minded their business. And one afternoon when my son had delivered things I gave him to deliver at home, the man called him and deceived him that I told him to go with the man, and the rest was so devastating. Margaret has been a neighbor for 5 years now and says what happened was terrible as she lived near her and was also shocked. About the husband, it's not words I was told by others, but I had to witness it with my naked eyes. I spent time with the mother looking for her son. I knew the man and he wasn't a bad person before, but after having misunderstandings with the wife, he started changing his behaviors. Jen couldn't sleep when her son went missing. She went through the whole town asking whether they have seen her son, but a call would leave her even more depressed. An unknown number called me and said, "Are you Nabasita Jen?" I said yes. He asked again, "Do you know a child named Seguya Bernard?" I said yes. They asked again, "Do you know a man named Sempi Jabena?" I said yes, but added we had parted ways after having 2 children together. They said, "We have found your child at Minziro Forest, heading to Tanzania. He was tied with ropes." They told me to hurry up because the child was in a critical condition. The kid who was almost killed by the so-called stepdad also has his say.
My name is Hassan.
My name is NAMATOVU Hassan. I study in primary 4, and the one who I knew as the father strangled my neck. So this day he came to me and said he spoke with my mom and was going to give me some food to take home. He took me on a motorbike and we kept going until we reached a certain forest. When I tried screaming, he tied me with the rope on the neck. It was around 5 p.m. in the evening when he asked why the dad was doing such to him. The man replied, "I'm not your father." And that really hurt him because he considered him to be a father figure despite knowing that he was just a stepfather. According to what I saw, they had strangled him with a rope as he was trying to scream. The husband says he thought the boy was dead, but since it was in the forest maybe, they left him and he breathed some fresh air and couldn't die immediately. He spent the whole night there until 6 a.m. in the morning when he crawled to the roadside and met a man who asked what he can help. It was difficult to comprehend, but she hurried up and quickly took the kid to a nearby hospital. But the hospital wasn't capable of treating him, and they transferred him to another private hospital. A man rescued me and washed me before calling police and taking me to the hospital. To be honest, I don't know why he wanted to kill me, and I will never ever forgive him for what he did. Even when he gets sentenced for many years in jail and returns asking for forgiveness. To be honest, I couldn't think of anything that would take away his life. He had spent 3 days at the hospital, but then transferred us to Mulago Hospital, where we spent some days, doctors trying to save his life. The husband was later caught. His dossier was taken to court and his trial is pending. He had initially denied all accusations, saying he's innocent. His hearing was postponed, but this mother wishes that the husband should be heavily punished. To me, I would request them to give him 30 years imprisonment in case the court declares him guilty. 30 years will teach him a great lesson, and I don't intend getting back with him. After parting ways with the husband, he wanted to take all her children, but she went to court, and the mother was handed back her children, whereas the husband was assigned with providing for them. As someone who has been close to this family, she says that what the husband did has nothing to do with the wife, as in terms of revenge or such kind, never. The wife has always been a humble and a kind person in this area, she adds. We as villagers are here asking for justice. What the man did is beyond the human nature and deserves to be punished. What he did proved that he's a monster and would even do worse if not punished. Who knows? Margaret says this has taught her another lesson, living peacefully with neighbors, because everyone around Jane has been supporting ever since. Because they knew her as a good person, had she been a bad neighbor, no one would have been by her side. It's hard to imagine what the young boy did to deserve such a punishment that saw him almost killed. If the dad was not in prison, we would have talked and known why. Thank you for joining us on this emotional roller coaster as we explained the gripping story of Hassan and his unwavering spirit. If you found this video inspiring, don't forget to like, comment and share it with others who may also be moved by his remarkable journey. Thank you for watching. I'm Elijah and this is Afrimax English.